the conference party affiliation of members. Friends, the challenge discussion. He is the director for Dean. Good morning. Our sisters program Insight some months ago. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So,
Charlie, we know it. I mean, of the local, it is clearly the powers are clearly delineated in the Constitution, vertically, horizontally, vertically, from the federal, state, and the local government. But if the government, it up and went to Supreme Court to argue why the judgment was in favor of the local government, what we call local government autonomy now, whereby the finances of the local government would be paid right from the federation account to the local government. Unlike the previous, system where the joint state and local government accounts, the money will be paid in, and perhaps there was no clear accountability. But now, I think it's going to ensure more accountability. So, Conference of Speakers, like I said, like any other major stakeholder in the country, for that matter, there is nothing you can do about it. And ultimately, it's for the good of the country.
Oh, okay. Have been critical. Perhaps this is why they are supposed to directly oversight the local government in terms of how
legislature has been doing that. There have been provisions in the Constitution, relevant law, and oversee the affairs of local government where necessary. So they have been doing that. I do not think their inability to perform that role was what prompted the Attorney General to better governance in the land, particularly to ensure that the governance touches the grassroots, like you said in the introduction, must have prompted the Attorney General to adduce once again evidence for the case, and he got the judgment. So, good governance to the people at the grassroots, and that is what we, because there is the people, and ultimately is going to ensure good governance, reduce state of insecurity, create employment, ensure more participation, and build more confidence and trust in the people, and of course in the system.
All right. It's still a big talk on Citizen 93.7 FM Pleacher, and we have the DJ in the studio, Busari Sharafuddin, talking to us about developments in that sector. You can join the conversation 9797. You can also call 0818-2222-206. You can also send us a WhatsApp message and just let us know speakers of state legislators.
The theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servants
from those who cause the crime. Honestly,
the passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was.
No.
My name is Lawrence.
On Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja, be part of the experience.
Come gather here, make we talk for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday, go reach Thursday, and the time now 5:10.
Bored or confused?
Is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mental
high and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
We are Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps. Security and Civil Defense Corps. NSCDC. To put to work efficiency, humility, integrity in service delivery. With fresh zeal, bringing credit, Nigeria's security. We are Nigeria's security.
Thank you for still staying tuned, and we look for the DG Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures of Nigeria. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Another effect of that, the independent national election within the purview of do this are all these not signs that people are.
I do not think so. That people are losing confidence in the state legislature. As per the conduct of the local government election, yes, some are agitating that it should be the responsibility of the INEC. It has been SEC in the state legislative action in the National Assembly right now. I think there is a bill to that effect, and INEC that conduct sincerity. INEC that conduct sincerity with sincerity, because the SEC now, I believe these people, I mean, the body will still be, constituted by the same Nigerians. So we have to instill the value of honesty and sincerity. Sincerely speaking, there will be it will get to a point who don't need it. Sincerely speaking.
All right, of the players. Now, okay, let's talk more of governance now and less of politics. How do we get people in the states, in the local governments, in the ward level, understand, to buy into the issue of governance and not necessarily politics, goings on in governance?
And one of the ways is, like I said earlier, is to build trust and confidence in the system.
How do you do that?
Now, we have to be transparent.
Okay.
We have to ensure transparency. We have to ensure account office in trust for people. And you have to discharge it, like I said, with honesty, accountability, and fear of God. You wouldn't have been there if people, for instance, if you are holding an elective election. So it wasn't even by your qualification, by whatever that people. Mm-hmm. By so doing, if there's a level considerable, people lose confidence and trust in the system. They're going to just look and say, oh, irrespective of what they do, after all, it's not going to matter. And somebody that we elect that is there is not going to be there on our behalf. So why should we do what we should do? So I think we have to build.
Okay, it's always been the problem at the state level and even the local government level. For example, most members of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislators are favorites of state. When the foundation, some people will argue the foundation is already flawed. What do you expect?
Well, really what you mean. But you see, for instance, since you talked about state legislature, separation of powers, such that executive governor or executive arm of government responsibilities and the legislative arm responsibilities are clearly stated. What you are expected to do, and where to overstep my responsibilities. We do not see it at the detriment of the people. Most of the people expect always that the speakers or the lawmakers at the state level particularly should be fighting governors. That is when good governance is attained. No, I do not share that. And for good governance to be achieved, there is no problem for the speakers, for instance, to work very well with the governors. That the governor, that the speaker is a favorite of the governor, it could be for good governance. After all, when the speakers are being elected when the houses are being inaugurated, the governors do not have voting powers. The voting will be carried out, will be conducted by the members, by the members elected
of the assembly.
In the house. So.
Okay, well, it's still Big Talk. If you're just joining us, still Big Talk on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. And I have as my guest the DG of Conference of Speakers of State Assemblies in Nigeria, Busari Sharafuddin. The phone lines are still open. I can see some numbers flashing. You can just make the call straight. 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818-2222-205 or 0818-2222 state assemblies, their challenges and prospects ahead of time. All right, DG, let's look at the state assembly in the side. Number one, do you think that Nigerians really appreciate the responsibility of the legislature because of the expectations from the state assembly? Let me explain. Expected to pay school fees. Person is expected of constituents capacity to influence law.
Unfortunately, that is not what a lawmaker should do. Where they have been confronted with this problem, the lawmakers are expected to carry out an oversight function. These are the key responsibilities of the lawmakers. Other than that, particularly should have done is derailing, is distracting, because help such a lawmaker, support him to make a law that will stand the test of time, ensure that representation is carried out, and let him also check the executive arm through the oversight function. What the executive, for instance, there is a budget, and the executive must have, promised in the budget that we are going to do this, and that. Let the lawmakers, carry out effective oversight function. And sincerely speaking, people have to help in this regard. The lawmakers, yes, they are elected to do that, but we have to encourage them in that line, not distracting them by requesting things that ordinarily executive arm should have done.
But do you blame them when during campaigns some of these lawmakers make these promises?
Well, unfortunately, any lawmaker that makes such a promise is ahead of him, because that is not his core responsibility to do. So if you make, and this is one of the areas where people have to check who they are going to vote for. If I come to people now in the course of electioneering campaign, and I tell people that, look, when I'm voted as a lawmaker, I'm going to construct road, dig borehole. That is one of the ways that I do not actually know my responsibility where I'm going. So, but the relevant for the development of our constituency, I'm going to help the state governors in this regard. I'm going to do that to carry out as a lawmaker. So, and if, like I said, this is one of the ways you can even assess the candidate. Unfortunately, if somebody comes your way and he tells you the right thing, maybe he's not going to give you money, or you just don't like his face, you're not going to vote for him. So that is one of the issues we are battling with. And
so how do I address that irony?
We just of the populace themselves, because the lawmaker, no matter how able, no matter how intelligent and capable he is, he can, if these people do not really know or do not, promising to dig borehole, for instance, promising to construct road, it's not going to make me a good lawmaker. Rather, promising you that I'm going to make laws. You can even, further ask me of your people, how do you intend to do that? Then you can assess me properly. So sensitization is key, because it's about your role in democracy, and that is part of the people's responsibility in democracy. Everybody has a role to play that we want.
Okay, DJ, I know that which is supposed to be their support base. Most of the time you find in the constituency offices populated by unemployed relatives of a lawmaker, or maybe people at the ward level choose people, just go there and work. You hardly find quality staff who are supposed to give this lawmaker expert opinion. Right? But we find these things like this. How can that be addressed?
Well, that might not be, if that is true, it might not be peculiar to state lawmakers alone.
No, you even find them at the national level, yes.
So, and like I said earlier, sincerely speaking, sensitization, when, for instance, like what we just talked about now, if in the course of campaigning, I tell you that I'm going to construct road, for instance, while I'm heading to legislative house, you know that. But if legislation, how I'm going to, I should know how our system of government. Everybody has to play a role. I agree with you that we need right square. A situation whereby anything towards the accomplishment of the goal, required for good governance in a society, that is not right. And you discover that these people, at the end of the month, they will be paid. So we should engage people I should be able to know what is expected of me. And you, as an electorate, should also assess me and see it in me what it takes to deliver. So there is no doubt, when that is done, you have. I'm going to give you the best, and one of the ways to give you the best is that system requires that. Is even the government that is going to pay for the. Remember, I'm not even talking about principal officers. It's up to you to look around and leave this other constitution, parochial sentiments of.
Would that not be political suicide?
Well, but 5 people, can 5 people really re-elect you? Interest should be paramount. Well, that might be difficult, but I do not even see it as a political suicide. And besides that, we should be, sensitized to a point that when I'm supporting you, I shouldn't be supporting you for my personal interest. I should be supporting you for what you can deliver and how you can better the system for the overall interest of it.
Okay, DJ, before we round off, I want us to talk about how the of leadership and re-strategize how lawmakers operate going forward after having looked at all.
Thank you very much. The Conference of Speakers, as you know in your introduction, well articulated. The introduction, talks about the role and the reason why the Conference of Speakers was. In fact, after the speakers, the role of the Conference of Speakers who is elected in a state. We're not even going to decide a speaker that will be elected in the Houses of Assembly. Rather, when the speakers are, inaugurated, then they come, and we see how we can, strengthen. That is what we do, and sincerely speaking, we have been doing very well. We have engaged with State House of Assembly by training and retraining capacity in that constitution of the people. We are government. We have had opportunities to meet with the federal government officials. We have shared our views. For instance, the executive order 10, the financial autonomy for State House of Assembly. We believe that these are the ways that things can be better done at the state level, and we have good governance, particularly through legislative arm. You agree that there is no democracy, sincerely speaking, without legislative arm of government.
Exactly.
And the better we think the legislative arm is, the better able it is to carry out its constitutional responsibility, the better the government will be, the better the people will be. So why not ensure that we help the State House of Assembly, and that is they should do, to meet the needs.
The General Conference Speaker. Always a pleasure. Big talk this morning. The program will return same time, same station, and tomorrow. My name is Lawrence Moiti. Have a beautiful day.